Well, you've seen a lot of reality TV. Now, the show hasn't been out yet, but I'm sure cable's going to pick up on it soon, and that would be the Psychic Sisters Fighting Crime. Suzanne and Jean, right?
Yes.
Did I get you all right? Jean and Suzanne Vincent are here. Yes. We've talked with you guys before. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And they're the Psychic Sisters. Sisters by blood, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm older.
You're older. I mean, it's like the Allman Brothers, but they weren't really brothers. Or Simon and Simon, they weren't really brothers. But Suzanne and Jean, you are really sisters.
Yes, we are.
And you're older.
Yes.
I would have never
guessed.
I thought you were twins.
She's the baby.
Yeah.
We have one between us who also is psychic.
Is she psychic too?
Yes, she is.
Where's she at?
Down in Florida.
Oh, okay. She's doing her work down in Florida then. Well, last time we talked, you said, Mike, you're going to be a millionaire. Here I am. No, you never told me that. I'm just kidding. But why not? Where's that prediction? Look at my hand. Look at my palm. Can't figure it out. See, you're speechless. You've read how many people, and now I've just made you speechless by saying, where's that money?
Boy, I wouldn't be the first one on Oprah with the Powerball ticket, or
the winning horse.
Yes, but
Mitt Romney's going to win the race.
Doesn't work that way, though. I guess.
It looks like he's doing well. I think he's going to do well.
Yeah.
Yes.
All kidding aside, and I know we've talked with you before, you've investigated or worked with some police departments and families especially in trying to solve cases of missing loved ones. This is a very serious matter, and that is the case of Jimmy Slack. We've heard that he attended a concert over at the A&E Amphitheater, the spaghetti incident or something like that.
String cheese incident.
Yeah, I'm confusing that with the Guns N' Roses album, I believe. But okay, so what can you tell us about that story?
We were called by Mrs. Slack on New Year's Eve, and my sister and I decided to go ahead and rearrange our schedule to go down and try to retrace the footsteps where Jimmy Slack went missing, starting from the parking lot, and then we went over to the Westview Park, and I think there's a film that shows us
Jimmy up there now,
trying to do the research and trying to retrace his steps. And
we did head over to the up towards Ridge Street near the park up that way, and we also looked at some of our markers, and we came upon some clothing near the markers that were pinpointed on our maps. And as we were heading up that way, we found some clothing, and the clothing were very dark in nature. They had been there for a couple of weeks. Jeannie and I called the Pittsburgh police. And the Pittsburgh police came out in 5 minutes from the missing persons unit, and they took a look at it. They investigated it for several minutes, and we're looking at it, and they actually called back to the station to make sure that the description was correct of James Slack's clothing.
Now we're looking at you on the cameras there. Was that his clothing?
The Sergeant Gannon had ruled out that it was not pertaining to the Jimmy Slack case. So we're still pursuing and still looking in different areas, retracing his energy steps, which brought us back down to the river. But these items of clothing was ruled out, not pertaining to his case. But they were items that were dark that did match some of the descriptions, and we gave it to law enforcement to follow through with the leads that were at our markers.
We pick up energy, so there was energy around this clothing, and led us that way. And then also we retraced our steps back to the Allegheny River down towards the Ohio River, which is where our new leads are leading us to, which we both have some detailed descriptions of where we think he is going to be found at. In our opinion, he is in the river. It's just a matter of having some people search, and family search, and community search for him. Don't you have a couple of suggestions?
And Jean, you have some suggestions? Is that what you're talking about?
What?
Did you want to mention about up the river?
Some of when we retraced the steps, we went back to the river, and we had used our crystals and our pendulum, and the vibration on the mapping was that definitely there was some water connection with Jimmy Slack, and we were drawn over to the Vietnam Memorial. So one of the vibrations were maybe he had fallen in there, or maybe he'd wanted to swim there and swim across. But the pendulum was drawing us downstream, so one of our vibrations that are very strong right now is that he might actually be in the water a couple of miles down river, which means it might take a while for him to surface. But we do jointly feel that he is crossed over, and that some somewhere in the river he's either tied up or caught up. I was feeling like under the pier, or something was on him holding him down with the rush of the water right now. We are still retracing the steps and we're still investigating, so we have more footwork to go back out by the river, but we've been out there multiple times, and this is our video library when we have our meeting and we readdress the vibrations we're getting, and we take notes when we review the location of where we went.
Do your crystals or your vibrations lead you to believe that there was foul play involved with this? And we can talk about that when we come back from this break. Okay. With Jean and Suzanne Vincent, the Psychic Sisters, we'll continue on Night Talk. Our guests are the Psychic Sisters, Suzanne and Jean Vincent. Jean to my immediate left, and Suzanne working on cases, missing person cases. They've done this in the past, and they are now investigating, working on the Jimmy Slack disappearance. He was at the Stage A&E last year and never came back from the concert that he attended. You say you feel very strongly that he's in the river, his body's in the river somewhere.
Yes, we took our map and we used our crystals and our pendulum, and it started to do all kinds of movement over the river after we had left the park, and we walked up and down the river. And as we were getting vibrations, I kept seeing Brunette Island up that way. That's on the middle of the island there. And my sister and I were going to be searching up the Island Avenue and heading up that way, also New Beaver Dam Road. And then also, we feel he's between here and the Dashhow Lock and Dam. I don't think he's that far downriver, so I think it's very important that people go out and search along the riverbank. I do feel that his body is stuck up against something or near under something, and there's a few barges right above the McKeesport Bridge that was in my visions, because I've been Googling for the last 2 days. You look and you section off the Google, you know, the satellite, look for our images, and then you kind of zero into it so that we can find these markers. But it does take a lot of work. It's like peeling back onion. We volunteer our time, and it takes a lot of investigative skills.
Do you believe that it was foul play?
Closer to,
I don't believe it was foul play.
I
feel it was just accidental. His energy, Jimmy Slack's energy, was just a youthful person enjoying life. That just, you know, things happen. It got late, and you know, you get overzealous about enjoying the night. And I just think he just either wanted to. It was a very warm evening, December 6th. He was wearing shorts, and maybe he decided he wanted to swim or go on the water somehow. There were several vibes even going across to where Point Park was, so one of the vibrations we were getting that maybe he wanted to swim across there, or just he was a strong swimmer. But the water element is there from the crystal pendulum that we were using on the map.
Would it be wrong to suggest that you're working with the Pittsburgh police on this? You say you called them when you saw those clothes down around the point, I guess. Do the Pittsburgh police recognize you as part of their investigation?
They were very respectful. They were very positive. It was Sergeant Gannon who came out and Detective Boss who came out, and they were very one-on-one, very respectful as far as nothing negative. So I had a feeling that there was a sense of camaraderie there.
But you were called in on behalf of the family, and not
yes.
the police department.
Yes, and the family, yes. And they notified the police we were involved, and so if we get some tips, they will come out and they will investigate when we make the call. One of the things, too, I wanted to mention was that night the river was very calm, very peaceful, and I feel it was just him either falling into the river and then hitting his head, or going for a swim and hitting his head and getting totally confused, and then trying to swim, and I feel that he drowned. And so it's just a search will be looking up the river, but I don't feel now it's a foul play or anything like that. I think it's a horrible, horrible accident. And
do you think that if you believe that he's dead in the river, that he's passed on, as you said?
Yeah.
You don't believe that he just left the area on his own and doesn't want to be found, he's living another life somewhere?
One of the reasons I'm saying that is because there's been no action on his cell phone and no money taken out of his bank accounts. And both of his grandparents had died in December. Grandma and Grandpa had died, and you would come back for something like that. One, I think, died December the 24th, and the other one, I think, December the 12th. So I feel that he would have been here for that. He would never miss his grandparents' funeral.
Jean, you had something to say?
She said it all.
Okay. All right. Very good. But the investigation is ongoing from the Pittsburgh Police, and you're also trying to track down leads.
Yeah, we're going to be searching all this week.
We do real investigative skills. We went into the Tilted Kilt and we interviewed some of the employees that were there to see if they had seen anybody that night or if anyone came in talking about it. And several of the girls had said, you know, we'll keep our eyes open for this. So we are doing real investigative skills along with the intuitive. But there has his cell phone has not been used. The last known ping went off was on North Shore. His bank account has not been used at all. So you need your debit or credit card to, you know, purchase items to live on.
Well, let me ask you, because and moving on to another issue, there was one of the Penn State hierarchies in Pittsburgh tonight. They're going around the Sandusky case and trying to bring back the alumni, smooth over all the bad feelings that are out there about Penn State in relationship to this case. And then it was just mentioned that the former DA from the Philadelphia area went missing. His car was found and all that stuff. Do you get anything on
I was contacted probably a couple years ago by a news media and also a family friend of Ray Gricar.
Okay.
And my sister and I had did some preliminary information about it. We do feel that his disappearance has something to do with Jerry Sandusky and the Penn State scandal. I think that in the 1990s, he was supposed to be investigating some of the allegations, and then he dropped it and decided not to go to the grand jury. And then as time went on, maybe in the early 2004, 2005, he's hearing things, and he's deciding that he's going to have to start to press charges. And I think that as things unfolded, the people in the community, it got back to the Penn State people, and then somebody decided that they were going to kill him, basically. And so I feel that it's definitely foul play. He was definitely found in Lewisburg, which is very close to the Susquehanna River, and his laptop was discovered, I believe, in the center of the bridge, and with his hard drive missing. And there's also you know, just so much information about that. So let me ask you for your, because we're just about running out of time here, a website for people who have more information or want to ask you questions. What would your website be? SuzanneVincent.com. Simple enough. My sister wants to talk about Michelle Parker, too, if you have a second. We don't. We have about 10 seconds, and they're telling me we have to move on. But I want to thank Jean and Suzanne Vincent for being here. And once again, if people have more information about any of these cases or want to contact you, they can do so. But thank you for coming in and talking with us. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for watching Night Talk. I'm Mike Romai, and this is PCNC.